why do you put vision before goals?
Because everybody has to have a why for what we're doing. Why are you doing this? If you lack that motivation, which is pretty common, people don't have a real solid reason other than to get through the day and maybe make some money and maybe not go broke. But if you're truly inspired by something, and it can be altruistic or it can even be self-serving, meaning I want to save the world and provide jobs for people, would be altruistic, and I'm going to do that by running my construction business. Or it can just be, look, it's worthwhile to have a business. I'm serving society when I have a business, but my goal is to make a bunch of money and sell this business to my top people. So that's a little bit of both, you know. But there needs to be a real reason. And most of the people I work with can't articulate that reason, that why. So if you're just doing it because we're at a coaching session or we're at a workshop and we say you need a vision, and you come up with stuff that doesn't really drive you, or you don't have a good goal in mind or a good vision in mind, which I guess is a type of goal. It's one that usually can't be attained. It's bigger than that. But why are you doing this? I mean, you're going to have this extra work. You're going to be spending all this time working on something. Jim Rohn says, if the prize is apparent, the price is easy. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have a prize, which is your vision, this purpose, then everything you're doing is just a bunch of work. Or maybe it's work that gets you through the day or the week or the month or solves an immediate problem, but it's not. We just have to have a reason for
I
doing
think also we have to have clarity on, you know, if the goal matters or not. I think so many times you can be chasing a goal just because you think that it matters. But how many times do you run into people that have a sales goal but no profit goal?
Right.
You know, and they're just chasing sales.
Yeah.
So I think the vision allows you to understand the true path to get there, whereas a goal is a step, but is it a step in the right direction, or is it a step that you're taking in vain? So I think that when you have that vision, it becomes a lot clearer if you're setting the right goals for your vision.
I think we talked about this last week, so we don't need to do all of it again, but some people really do have lofty, altruistic, big picture goals, and they really believe that. They get up in the morning and that's what they think about. But they also, and I say goals, I'm talking about a vision as being a long-term goal. Others, their vision is truly like my little short saying, a highly profitable business that can work without you.
Yeah.
E-Myth, Michael Gerber, people say that. If that's really what you're working for, in 3 years, I want to be on the sidelines and I want to come in once a month or once a week maybe to give the flywheel a push. But that's really possible, and that really motivates me because that's what I really want to do. Then the time that you put in to get organized has purpose and reason. And without that, you're just not going to get it done, in my experience.
Well, I think it's hard sometimes to wake. I mean, you have to have a lot of, I don't know, motivation, willpower, discipline, focus to be able to think about your vision every morning when you wake up. But I think that, I mean, it's possible though, if it's that inspiring.
Well, at the risk of disagreeing a little bit,
No,
Jeff Finney, whom we've talked about many times, his vision is to be the most efficient cabinet component manufacturer in the world. And he has some other things that maybe I can't. Well, no, he said it in his podcast that his vision is to sell for enough money that he can live comfortably going forward. Yeah. I promise you, he thinks of that every morning when he gets up. It's his singular purpose. Now, in order to do that, I have to fill out this form or do this work, but that pushes him.
Well, and that's where I push back a little bit. Like, yes, it does push him, but he's got it broken down into more milestones too, of like, what is the next step, you know? And that's where I think that what we're going to talk about with goals is, hey, it's hard to just have a vision, start just running towards it. You've got to have mile markers. You've got to have milestones where you know that you're on the right path, but you can just focus on that spot. It's kind of like whenever I'm on a run. Yeah, I might be running 9 miles, but if I'm just thinking about mile 9, it's actually really hard to stay motivated and push. But if I can think about, hey, I'm going to that street light, or I'm going to, that turn in the corner up there, I can push myself to that point, right? And it's a lot easier to focus on just the present. And I think that's where it becomes difficult at times. Is sometimes you can set goals that are too far away. You're reaching for mile 7, but what if you just set a goal to mile 1 where you have that milestone, and then when you get there, you feel a bit of a success and accomplishment, and that allows you to feel like, okay, I can make it to mile 2, I can make it to mile 3.
Right.
I think that's the value with setting milestones, and likewise, sometimes the goal's too short. It's a goal for today, but you don't know what the goal is for the week or for the next week.
Well, there's a Chinese proverb, I think it's Chinese, heard it for many years. A guy holds up a container, pours rocks in it till they're full. Is the container full? The student says yes. He puts in smaller pebbles. Is the container full? Oh, yeah, now it is. Then he puts in sand. Oh, now it is. And then he pours in water. So I think milestones, we can use that maybe instead of goals. It doesn't obviate the need for a vision. We're doing this for a reason. But my first step is maybe the water in that Chinese metaphor, the small things that fill the in between spaces.